Leaders and residents in the East New York section of Brooklyn. They are campaigning for change at the troubled 75th precinct.
Our next guest started a petition calling on the removal of the precinct's commanding officer. He's looking for the NYPD to take action. So here with us this morning is civil rights leader and founder of the Crisis Action Center, Reverend Kevin McCall. Reverend, thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Thank you, Dan and Betty, for having me.
Absolutely. So you've been calling on the removal of Inspector John Mastronardi, who is the commanding officer in the 75th precinct. You started this petition. Tell us why and what's become of it.
Well, the reason why we started the petition, I started it because myself and community leader Chris Banks, we saw that the inspector, John Mastronardi, was standing in the middle of the pandemic without a mask, exciting riots with his police officers, didn't provide the leadership. Nobody knew who he was when he was at the scene. And he thought that he was going to get a pass from what was happening during then. We were dealing with George Floyd right after that. So we didn't have the courage and we didn't have the manpower to be able to deal with the police misconduct here in New York City. So we decided to be able to start a petition, not only just because of this incident, but there's people in the community, there's other clergy, there's people, there's businesses that don't even know who the inspector is. This same inspector has not been to one gun back buy program. How can that precinct be the worst in the city? #1 in crime, #1 in guns arrest, and #1 in police brutality under his leadership. 1,300 police officers were accused of misconduct. They either got promotions or they got raises. He don't need to be there. So, and we decided to be able to start that so he can be able to go.
Yeah, so you have nearly 300 signatures on that change.com petition now. There has been some back and forth. Some people saying he was removed, some articles that were saying he was already removed. I spoke one-on-one yesterday with Commissioner Shea, did ask him if there were plans to remove Inspector John Mastronardi. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say.
Just to be clear, he is the CO of the 75th precinct, and he will be tomorrow, and he will be next week. He has not been transferred. At some point, he's coming up on 2 years in the busiest precinct. At some point, he's going to be transferred, but it's not for disciplinary reasons. So just to be clear.
Reverend, what is your reaction here? Because I know you've met with NYPD leadership since first asking for the removal of the inspector. Does this come as a surprise to you?
It doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, the commissioner has a job to do. And we have a job to do. We call for his removal. It's all about language, and whatever language he wanted to be able to use. I know one thing, he's not getting a promotion, and his days at that precinct is numbered. And I guarantee you that without a shadow of doubt, he'll be moved very soon.
Very soon.
And that is seemingly what the commissioner said, right? That he will be moved, but it will not be for disciplinary reasons.
Well, usually what happens when, as you heard the commissioner say, usually what happens when you move out of a precinct for being there for 2 years, you get a promotion. I guarantee you he's not getting promotion.
Understood.
I guarantee you that he will be in a place inside the department where it's not in the leadership position. And that's what we want him, not in the leadership position.
All right, I want to shift gears right now because you're going to officially call for Governor Cuomo's removal from office. He came out with another apology. I want to get your take on that.
Well, apologies means nothing. Today at 4 o'clock in front of his office, I'm being the first Black clergy leader to call for the governor to resign. The governor, you can apologize, you can say sorry. Those things mean nothing at the end of the day. You have to be held responsible for your actions. For every action, there is a reaction. These women have come forward. Their investigation needs to be able to take its course, but the governor cannot govern. You saw that what happened with the nursing homes. How can we trust his apology when he lied about numbers on the nursing home? How can we trust his apology when he has not, he's apologizing because now it's public, but this has been brewing for a long time. And I stood up with Brett Kavanaugh in D.C. with myself and Minister Kirsten John Foy and others. We stood up and we got a protest Donald Trump and Brett Kavanaugh. We're going to do the same right here. People was praising the governor for what he was doing during the coronavirus and all the things that he was doing. But this is the same governor that said that it's not God that's blowing the numbers, it's science. So he needs God like never before. And we're going to make sure that his days are numbered in the office of governor, New York State, and we ain't gonna stop until that happens. And if he doesn't resign immediately, we're going to be organizing disruptions around this city and around the state.
We are going to stay on top of that story every step of the way. We know that. While I have you here, I know you've been in very close contact and conversations with George Floyd's brother, Terrence. You have been since the beginning. There's big news on Monday as the trial of Officer Derek Chauvin begins. So first and foremost, how is Terrence doing, right? And let me ask you this. What do you think is going to happen in terms of justice, knowing how things have happened in the past?
Well, Terrence has been feeling very optimistic. He is very in a place where he wants to be able to focus on justice and focus on peace. He really wants to be able to drive that message home. For him and his family, we will be at the opening statements of the trial. And I know that we have been organizing around the city in terms of doing some things here. But in terms of the actual trial, we believe that we're optimistic. We want to put faith in the justice system. So this is a time where the justice system have to show themselves mighty and strong and let us know that we can be able to believe in a system that has failed us for the last 400 years.
All right, Reverend McCall, thank you so much for your insight today and your information. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.